One early morning cast adrift 3 bears without a paddle. Who'll save us from the roaring fall? Roy Rogers in the saddle. He whirls his lasso overhead with triggers set to check fast.
A perfect throw!
He yanks them in and says,
Let's go to breakfast.
Post Sugar Crisp is here for all to fill the bowl before you. The candy-coated cereal already sweetened for you. Fresh honey-flavored puffs of wheat so crispy that they crunch. They're wonderful for breakfast, between meals or for lunch. So eat it by the bowlful or right from the package straight. For nourishment and energy, Roy Rogers says it's great.
Yes, sir, Buckaroos. Sugar Crisp is my favorite, and I want you to try it for breakfast. And as a snack between meals. Why, you can even eat it right out of the box. Get Post Sugar Crisp right away.
For breakfast, it's dandy.
For snacks, it's so handy.
Or eat it like candy.
For goodness sake, get Post Sugar Crisp.
Howdy folks, Ranger Sly here. Very excited today because I'm showing you comics I bought from the first comic book show I've been in years. The last few times I went was way before COVID, 5 6 years ago maybe. And I was disappointed the last few times I went to comic book shows in Montreal because there was not a lot of good comics. Most of the older stuff was way overpriced and often in not very good condition, and that doesn't go well together. If you're gonna sell low grade, you should have low grade prices and not high grade prices for low grade comics. Anyway, also I think it's universal now, but the comic book shows that I went to were mostly about Funko Pops at the time. There was a lot of cosplay stuff and cosplay people, and one time I even went inside, look at 2 comic book dealers. One was selling only modern stuff and another guy was selling vintage stuff in low grade, high prices. I had brought a couple $100. I didn't spend $1. I went outside and never went to another comic book show again. This one I went to last weekend was a very small comic book show. I don't remember who I was exchanging with on the chat room of one of the other channels, comic book channels, and somebody said, yeah, the small comic book shows are now the best, and I agree. I didn't even had time to visit all the dealer at this show because I spent the $200 I have with me on the first 2 sellers I met. I found a lot of good stuff that I never see in the wild. I only see on eBay. So I spent all my money on the first 2 dealers. I know it's not the way I should have done. I should have make a first round to scout and then focus on some of the things, but I got excited, maybe because it had been so long since I found fun comics to look at and to buy. So without further ado, let's begin. I'm gonna show you first a dealer who had higher prices, but condition was pretty nice and stuff that I don't see very often. So the first one here is Little Dot number 159 from 1975. Little Dot is about the only RV comic I collect. You have to limit yourself at one point, and I decided to limit myself to Little Dot for RV comics. I like the design most of the time. This one was pretty basic. I think I like the ray gun shooting little dots. This one is more interesting, I think. Shout out to Leo from Time Travel Comics. I know he likes those kind of covers with the malt shop thing. So this is Little Dot in Dotland number 59. I like Little Dot because they're a very colorful cover. Sorry about that. Okay, then I found a bunch of Archies that I probably overpaid for some. Not this one. This one is in very nice condition. This is Archie Giant Series number 229 from December 1974. And I don't collect a lot of Archies either. I collect only the Christmas covers mostly. So this was one of them. Another Christmas issue. It's Archie Giant Size Series number 207 from December 1972 with Sabrina. And this one I was very happy to find. It says $22 here, but I didn't pay that. The guy gave me a little deal. I know I overpaid, but I like also the Little Jinx comics in Archie's. And I think I didn't have any Little Jinx Christmas yet, so I grabbed this one, even if it was over my budget a bit. So this is Archie Giant Size number 206, and this also came out in December 1972, because at that time, like this one here, at that time Archie would sometime publish like 4 or 5 Christmas issues at the same time. And the last one is a little bit thicker and older. Yeah, this one is almost square bound, I would say. This is number 167. It's from January 1970. A nice Archie Christmas stocking. It says $25 here. I think he gave me a discount on this one, but the older Archies, especially the older one with square bound, they're kind of tough to find. This one I was surprised because the guy was only asking $11, and for old Charlton comics that are giant size, they didn't do many of them. I rarely find them under $20, so this guy was selling this one for $11, and he gave me a discount on it of $1 or $2. So this is a big 68 pages for 15 cents. It's Fighting Navy number 82. There's nothing special in it, no great artist. But I tend to collect all the giant size issues of Charlton I can find. And the last book I bought from that same dealer, who had a bit higher prices but good stuff. This, I'm a big fan of Strange Adventures, and this is, I think, it's my oldest issue yet, and it's a gorilla cover. So I was so excited when I saw that. It's Strange Adventures number 55. It's from 1955. You can see the little tiny 10-cent cover here. The cover is by Murphy Anderson, and there's the first 2 stories are by Edmund Hamilton, who was a pulp, sci-fi pulp writer, who also wrote for DC Comics in the 50s and 60s, I think. There's also a 2-pager, and this one written and drawn by Joe Kubert, which is kind of rare that Joe Kubert wrote his own stuff, but according to the Grand Comic Book Database, that's what they credit him for, both writing, art, and inks on a 2-pager story. Also rare to see Joe Kubert on Strange Adventures. And the last 2 stories, one is by John Broome with the great Gil Kane on art, and Murphy Anderson, the cover artist, draws the last story in this issue, but it's not the gorilla story. The gorilla story is the first one, and it's drawn by Cy Barry. So very excited to find this one. And another dealer was very friendly. He was very eager to make some deals, and I liked him very much, so I spent a little money there also. His system was when this was with color dots like this, so a green dot was a $1 book, a yellow dot was $2. I think the blue dots were $5. He had red dots for $10, and then there were books that on the table and the wall that were priced a little bit higher. So this is just an issue of DC Comics Present I didn't have, and it features the Atomic Knights, the post-apocalyptic sci-fi series from the 50s from Strange Adventures. And I was curious, I had never read this one. Then I found a couple of westerns, DC westerns. So this one was $2. It's Jonah X number 42. It's from 1980. And both cover and art are by a guy named Gérald Fortin. And I pronounce it in French because he's a French-speaking guy from Belgium who worked on comic book in Europe for a while. And then in 1980, he started to work for American publishers for a little while. So he drew this one. Another Jonah X. This one, as you see, it was priced at $5, but he gave me a big discount on this one. So it's Jonah X number 54, with the cover by Tony DeZuniga, and I think the interior art is also by Tony DeZuniga. Then a few weird Western tales to fill my run, which is coming nicely. All these issues I'm going to show you are from 1980. All of them have Luis Dominguez cover and interior art by Dick Ayers. So this is number 67. This is number 69. And the last one of these. Very cool cover. Looks like to be he's in the north, I think. That fur hat there. I wonder if he's in Canada. I know when I read it. A Cold Way to Die. So as a yellow dot, these were only $2. Like I said, I didn't pay $2. I paid a little much lower. I grabbed this issue of Conan. The blue dot here has a star because it's supposed to be a key issue. The key being, it's the first appearance of the character named Zula. And it mentioned on the cover, this was rare at Marvel at the time, that Big John Buscema returns as Conan the Barbarian artist. I think he had left around 2 years prior to that. And what was nice with this guy was on comic book that were priced a little bit higher, he had like a kind of form on the back which tell you about the comic and why he priced it a little bit higher. So this says here, key fact, first appearance of Zula, a Dafarian swordsman and sorcerer. The male character introduced as Zula in this issue was adapted for the 1984 Conan the Destroyer movie, portrayed by actress Grace Jones. So for the movie, Zula became female, and I don't think she was a sorcerer in the movie, I think she was just a warrior. Cool cover, looking forward to read this. A couple of Phantom issue from Charlton. So this one is number 58 from 1973. Both cover and inside art by the great Pat Boyett, one of Charlton's best artists in my opinion. Aside from Steve Ditko, of course. But Pat Boyett doesn't receive nearly enough the appreciation he should get. This is also by Pat Boyett, number 59, also from 1973. And that same dealer also had another little dot I found cute because if, as you see, little dot got a big 0 and 0 on all the question on her test, but she's happy because it's like a dot, I guess. So little dot number 127 is from 1969. And this guy, also what I like was the variety he had. He had Charlton, RVs, Marvel, DC, Dells. He had Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age. So this is Uncle Scrooge number 24. A little bit rough, especially on the spine, but it was a really good deal for $5 in a Canadian comic book show. And remember, it's $5 Canadian. Two things going for it. The Christmas cover, of course, and it's all Carl Barks art, both cover and inside art. And as with many of Dell's comic books that featured a Christmas cover, the stories inside have actually nothing to do with Christmas. It's Uncle Scrooge going to space, meeting aliens. Still a fun read, of course. Another fun part with this comic was the back cover with the Daisy air rifle ad. I love to see those vintage ads. So yeah, cool comic.
BB guns are dangerous. I don't want anybody shooting his eye out.
Next to last issue, like I was saying, the guy had a big variety of comics from the Silver, Bronze, and Golden Age. As you'll see in my last book, it's a Golden Age one. And so yeah, Charlton, Dell, Marvel, DC, RVs, and this is a gold key, of course. It's a UFO Flying Saucer number 4. I've been hunting for some UFO comics ever since I saw Leo from Time Travel Comics episode on comic books featuring UFOs, and I don't know why I wanted to get my hands on this series in particular from Gold Key. The series UFO Flying Saucers changes name after issue number 14. It becomes UFO in Outer Space. A beautiful book. It says $12 here, but the guy let me have it for much less. I think $10, maybe $9, which I was very happy to pay for a book from the 1974. Painted cover, gorgeous. Well, I'm going to show it like this for now. So, this is Ringo Kid Western number 2 from 1954. This was a wall book with the price at $45. I asked the guy if he could make me a deal because he was already making me a deal on all the books, and he said, yeah, I've been carrying this around comic book shows for many years now. Nobody wants to pick it up. It's worth way more than $45, but he said he would let me have it for $35. And I was honest with him. I said, well, if you just want to lower it to $40, that's fine with me. That's what the deal I was looking for. And he insisted, said, no, 35 is fine. You can have it for 35. So I was very happy. It's low grade, but it's complete. And the cover is still attached. So it has a lot of lines on the book and spine text, of course. But I'm very happy to have this in my collection. Great Joe Manelli art on the cover and 3 Ringo Kid stories inside. There's also a backup Black Rider story by Sid Shores. So very happy. As you can see, this comic book show was fun for me because I found comic books in every genre. Western, sci-fi, funny cartoon, adventure with the Phantom, war books, Archies. So it was very fun. They make these shows every month, or about every month. Like I said, it's a very small show in a gymnasium, but I will be back for more because there's good deals to be had, great comic books that I can't find anywhere else in Montreal. So very happy. So there you go. I hope this wasn't too long for you. Last time I know I blabbed about way too much on my last video, and the views for it shows. Thank you for watching, and please leave a thumbs up, and I always read and respond to every comment people leave on my videos, so please do. And I'll see you next time. Happy trails, everyone.